So much love, much love. You said it's 3 in the afternoon there today.
Correct. 3 a.m. Amsterdam time zone, Central Europe.
Well, you said 3 a.m.?
3 p.m. p.m.
Oh, PM, PM.
Afternoon.
I was about to say, yeah. I was like, I
Yeah.
know it can't be 3 a.m. over there.
No,
You
no,
look
no, no, no. It's
very
bright and middle of the day.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. And let me know how to pronounce your name correctly. I'd love to learn how to pronounce it the correct way.
Well, if you're Dutch, you could say Lineke,
Lineke.
Lineke. But
Lineke.
I go by many different names in many different languages because everybody makes something out of it. But no problem.
But Lineke.
Correct. Yeah.
Lineke. Okay.
Yeah.
Beautiful,
Yeah.
beautiful. And I really just wanted to hear and learn more about your story because we connected a while back. I know it was around 2021 that we actually first like connected when I look back in our messages. And I don't even really know what brought us together, Lineke. Do you remember what brought us together?
I it would probably been on a hashtag doing to do with breatharianism or pranic living or something like that. Because
Okay.
I understand you're also on that journey somehow, aren't
Yes. Yes.
you?
Somehow
Mm.
found ourselves on the path. We found
Yeah,
ourselves on the
exactly.
journey. Yeah,
So that was the first connection, but I think there's more things in common than just that, actually.
of
Yeah.
course, of
Yeah.
course. And for if anyone had never met you before and they were interested to know about you, in what ways would you even describe yourself? Like, how would you describe yourself?
I have no idea. Crazy, crazy woman, playful child. Um, no, never, never to be defined, I think. No, not really. Uh, but yeah,
Yeah. So you said crazy woman, playful child.
yep,
I love that. I
yeah.
love that. So you stay in that childlike nature, that childlike curiosity, innocence, or just
Uh,
wonderment?
yes, yes. I mean, you probably have heard of human design and something called the gene keys as well. Do you know the gene keys as well?
I've heard more
It's
about human design, not so much about the gene keys.
it's something that one of the followers of human design, a guy from England, he started more his own path. There's a lot of people who derived something from human design, and he really created something beautiful. It's called the gene keys. So it's about your DNA, the light that shines from within.
Mhm.
And in that one, all the spheres, they have an archetype. So my inner purpose is the innocent child, the
Mm.
playful child. It's the number 3 gene key, but which is derived from the I Ching. You know, this is the 64 archetypes from the I Ching.
Mhm.
So I'm an eternal child. Yes, true, true. And since I honor that more and more, I mean, it's always been in me, but I'm honoring it now, and it's so much freedom.
Yeah,
That's
it,
that's really freedom.
it
Yeah.
feels like it. It feels like it. What are your favorite ways, or in what ways do you honor the eternal child every day?
Curiosity, I think, and yeah, curiosity, openness, looking at the world from that's it, looking at the world from the eyes of a child. There's always like curiosity. Everything's possible. Everything's magic. Everything is. You don't have to define things. It's not like yeah. It's playful. It's a lot of interaction also. It's like yeah. What really makes me alive is interaction,
Mhm.
movement, and never staying wandering. You know, never staying. I can stay in one place, but it's with a playful attitude, with an adventurous way of looking at life. I think that's
Okay,
what it is. Yeah.
okay. So is it less of the stale waters, like less of a pond and more of a running river, like a rushing stream?
No, at the same time, I'm the
Okay.
lake. I'm the
Okay.
container.
Okay.
At the same time, I'm still. At the same time, I'm very grounded. I'm very, yeah, down to earth, and it's more of an attitude towards yeah, curiosity, looking at life from innocence,
Yes.
non-defining, non-judging. Uh, Everything is what it is,
Yes.
or do we ever know what it is? It's just, what are we looking at? We look at it.
Right, right. Like
Yeah,
perspective, the lens that we're viewing from and the angles that we're looking
yeah,
at
and
and mhm.
yeah, and we're all different. But for me, this is one of my inner, yeah, they call it the inner purpose in the gene keys. But it's we all have our flavor, we all have our radiance, which we bring into the world, and
Yes.
yeah, and we all have everything in us as well. I mean, we don't
Mhm.
have to define ourselves by just one thing.
Right.
But yes, this flavor suits me.
Yes. Yeah, I love how you say, we have our flavor. Like one of my friends, they say we all have our reasoning and we all have our seasoning. You know, we,
Yes.
we all have what we add to the mixture, to the melting pot. So
Oh,
we
beautiful.
Yeah, our ingredients. We're all adding the ingredients to the great recipe of life. Yeah, yeah.
True.
So, oh
True. Yeah.
my,
Yeah, and we all come with a set of toys, like we're built up like Lego blocks, and
hmm
everybody's unique, a unique combination of many things. And what helped me so much is letting go of all the other things. What helped me in the human design and the gene keys is living by that piece of the puzzle that I am. My piece of the puzzle is enough. I focus on my piece of the puzzle and my talents or qualities or challenges, whatever. And if everybody's doing that, the whole puzzle will be complete. So many people are living other parts of the puzzle. They're trying to fix everybody else, or they're trying to do what all the other people could possibly be doing much easier or better. So focus on what comes easy, what comes natural.
right,
That's
right.
that's a big one too.
Great advice. Great advice.
Yeah.
And Linux,
Live,
you know,
yeah.
when you're talking about, I see it, being a human design oracle and being a lover of these gene keys and these pieces of your own puzzle, as you're also helping other people puzzle things out. I remember you asked, or you asked me for my birth date, and I gave you,
Oh, I did.
my date and my everything. I don't know if you did my chart or I don't know if you looked it up. Were you able to look up anything?
I don't have it here. I did print it out, and I looked at it, but I don't have it present here. I don't have it here.
Did you find anything interesting when you saw it the first time?
What is your birth date? What is your date
So,
of birth?
so it's October 26th, 1990, and I was born at
Yeah,
11:59 p.m. Yeah.
yeah. Oh gosh, no, I printed it out, but I don't remember now. I did a few other readings since, so I'm mixing things up. I always have to look at it again.
No worries.
Yeah.
No worries. And
But
you
yes,
also
you are definitely interesting.
and you
I
also
will I will send you some piece of the puzzle later. I will send you a private message with that. No problem.
thank you. I
Yeah.
received that,
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
you also asked me where I was born, like if I was born in the U.S. and I told you I was born in Stuttgart, Germany. Why is the region that you're born relative to human design?
It's actually based on astrology, just like Western astrology, where you have your sun is in a certain star sign, and your moon is in another sign, and especially with moon or some other things, they are not only the time of the day, but the location on Earth is relevant for the position to where you are. So it's really all based on the place, the time, and the date of birth.
Okay.
So yeah.
So when you're talking about these things like the I Ching and astrology, like are these feel ancient? They feel ancient. So are they older than astronomy? Like which came first, like astronomy or astrology?
I, that's a good one. I mean, I Ching is a Chinese book. It's a Chinese book of changes. It talks about archetypes, and it's maybe 5,000 years old or something. Who knows? Astronomy, astrology, I think it's way older. I mean, people have been looking at the stars ancient, and I mean, our memory of history or our recorded history, as we call it these days, is not that old. There's probably much older history which we have forgotten, or some people seem to remember or can tune into. But apparently, the way the gene keys are looking at it, it's like a hologenetic way the world is set up. And hologenetic, you know, this little Russian dolls. You have a big doll, and then there's a smaller doll, the wooden little things. You open them, and there's another doll inside, and you open, there's the next one inside. It's just copy after copy after copy. And this fractal pattern, this is, if you look at it from outside, is how the world is built, you know. So the whole way the planets are, we are actually kind of copies of that. And then if you look at our cells, they're copies of that, and they're copies of that. It's everything is inside the next level or inside. So that's basically why these stars at the moment of your birth have influenced or are relevant for your setup of your DNA or whatever things you bring into the world. So so in, so out is what the ancient Egyptians already said. So above, so below. And if you start really, what I'm so much going more inside and connecting from the inside again to the outside, there's so much relevance and resonance. And because your question was, how old is all this stuff? Yes, so it's very old. I mean, looking at the stars is old, but all these new methods, these new systems, like human design, came in the 80s of the last century, and the gene keys came maybe around 90 something or 2000, and they're new, but they're built upon all the old stuff. So it's a new way of using the old systems. And in the old systems, like you either became a yogi or a monk and you had to go into there, or whatever ways you had to kind of be outside of the world. And what all these new systems do is that you can be this inner monk or this yogi or this guru or whatever, but we live, let's say, a normal life in this abnormal world, a common life, like, you know, when people say before enlightenment, I had to go fetch water and chop wood, you know, that one. And after enlightenment, every day I had to go fetch water and chop wood. And these things help with that. So you can basically live your normal life and even live a life inside this society. Some people, they do have busy jobs and a family and maybe children and a lot of things on there. And you can still use these systems. You don't have to separate it from life anymore. And that's why they're so they're built upon all these old traditions, but they are a new way of how to apply them.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Great explanation. So it's like
Mm-hmm.
a new way to apply the old traditions.
Exactly.
Okay, okay. We have Sifu here is saying I Ching surprised the geneticist as the 64 symbols are 64 codons of our DNA in exact order. Like, does that resonate with you?
Exactly. This is the whole Gene Keys philosophy as well. So actually, if you open a biology book and you see the 64 codings in your DNA, they're made out of triplets, and it's like 8 by 8. And 8 by 8 is like a chessboard of 64 squares made of triplets and triplets. Each is the same thing. It's 8 by 8 triplets, and the 8 are related to the elements. It's earth and heaven and water and mountain, and there's 8 of them. But 8 by 8 make triplet above and triplet below. It's 6 lines of the I Ching.
Yeah.
Every I Ching number is 6 lines. And it's a binary system. The 6 lines, each line is either a yin or a yang. Yang is a line, and a yin is a circle or a broken line.
Yeah.
So it's actually computer language,
Oh
our
my
whole
God.
DNA, but our whole life actually, or the way the world is built. It's codes.
Wow. So with these codes, Lineke, how do you feel that we were able to tap into something during those times? Like if it's like over 5,000 years old, as you say, centuries and centuries and eons ago, that we could tap into something like the I Ching and develop something that was so mathematical, so systematic, but so perfect, in perfection, that seemed to be so ahead of our time. How do you feel like we tapped into something like that?
Yeah, those people were so wise. Or maybe so aligned. I don't know. Yeah.
Wow.
Mm.
So it was just the wisdom of the times, the wisdom of the ages?
I think there's even much earlier wisdoms as well, and we seem to forget it sometimes. So it's things that come back. Yeah.
Yeah. What do you feel are like some contributing factors into the amnesia, that makes people forget these kinds of wisdoms that seem to be so flowing back then?
Yeah, that's exploding at the moment, isn't it? Distraction from everything that's inside, and distraction in the outer world. Um, and if you look at from the Gene Keys perspective, it's all based on fear or anger, as the shadow side. And I heard this guy. His name is Richard Rudd, by the way. He's English. I heard him say, like in the old times when we got distracted or fear or anger, we went to war. Well, unfortunately, we're still doing it, but he said these days we go shopping. From a personal perspective, there's so much, and it's all at our hand. It's been completely out of hand the way our online world now works. I have two children, they're 21 and 23. They live this modern life and they order everything online, and they're the whole day on TikTok or whatever they are on. And it's scary in a way to see a whole generation grow up in this non-real world. But on the other hand, this what we think is a real world is also a non-real world. So who am I to judge that? But it's all about distraction and running away from feelings. So there's fear and anger, and it gets expressed either by repression or outward. And the answer is in there. If you face your fears, and you learn what your shadows are, you live them, you feel them, then there's a gift inside, and there is something beautiful inside. They're not all wrong, they're also lessons.
Right.
And in the bigger picture, this is what's happening in the world. It's been played out now on a scale that if you get, which I sometimes do when I get lost in that, when I get lost in pictures from what's happening in the world, or when I get lost in feeling all that and receiving all that emotions and energy, yes, I also prefer to leave, or but if you if I can keep looking at it from a wider perspective, and trust that there's lessons to be learned, and actually apparently we're all doing that on a massive scale with all the suffering that's part of it. Yeah, I'm still hopeful that there's something good evolving out of this, because yeah, it's very active reactive at the moment. It's crazy, but still I try to, for myself, I try to keep going inside and keep my inner balance,
Mhm.
and keep emanating that into the world. What we're doing now, we're on a screen, we're using all this technology. We're also not living on a stone or in a cave or on a mountain. And yeah, we're bringing another message into the world.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
I agree. And I love that you keep that hope. One of my friends tells me hope is like holding on to positive energy. He said that's the acronym for hope, holding on to positive,
Ah,
you know? Yeah, and you keep that in your heart, you hold that, and your example that you gave earlier, Lineke, you talked about the Matryoshka doll or whatever that doll is called, the Russian doll that has the little doll in that, and then you open that and there's a little doll, and you open that and there's a little doll. And it kind of reminds me of us and how, our parents and then our grandparents and our great great grandparents and our great great great, and then we just keep going back through the lineage, through our lineage that we just keep copying or just keep creating. But with the example of the doll being smaller than the original, do you feel like we're just pieces or just smaller than the original?
No, I think the size is not what matters. That's more like a way of representing it. So that's not in energy. It's not relevant.
Okay.
But I so much like what you're saying about this ancestral things. Yeah, if I look at all these family patterns, the only thing we can do, what I can do is personally, I'm living in this time and I can do what I can do now, but I'm still passing on things and shit to my children, unfortunately. But still, if I look back, yeah, what happened over all these centuries, I look at the lives of my parents or my grandparents, life is so rapidly changing. It's it's crazy.
Hmm.
It's crazy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it really
So
is.
yes, we are evolving. I think that's another thing. Like evolution is always here. We are evolving, whether we fight it or whether we embrace it. But there is evolution. We're changing and we're building upon all these things.
Yeah. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. You talked about things that, you've had to let go in life and things that you've had to release and relinquish, maybe to even give room for more energy or to give room for something new. You had to create that space, like you had to empty your cup, to fill it back up in a way. So what do you feel like, throughout your journey was one of the hardest things to let go? Like one of the most challenging things to actually release and let go?
Yeah, what comes up to me is that I've had a lot of physical challenges. Like I've been chronic fatigued and burnout over many years, and it's the whole process of letting go, basically letting go of everything.
Mm.
Because every time I was feeling I was going in there again, oh my God, I'm going to be tired. I was in resistance, like I don't want to be there. I don't want to be in bed for another month. But at the same time, the harder I resisted, the deeper I fell. And what I let go is all this clinging on to and all these perceptions of, oh, if I do this, then this will happen. Oh no, God, it's going to happen again. So I have been letting go a lot in that. And now my body still sometimes has challenges, but I accept it, I embrace it. And then there is just maybe I stay in bed for one day because I'm just tired. No judgment on that. Like, okay, the body needs it. And in 2 or 3 days, I'm back on track and I'm running and walking and doing everything.
Yeah.
So this whole process of being sick and this pranic journey really helped in that. I really got a new body from that.
Wow.
I mean, pranic living, for those who are watching, it's not always about not eating, and don't try this at home. Don't start fasting and think you live on prana. But yes, this journey, it really did change a lot in my body, and I feel so much stronger and more energy, whether I eat or not eat. But so letting go of a lot of ideas, basically, because it's our thoughts that create, it's our judgments, it's our resistance, it's whatever we think about the thing that creates what happens. That's what
Mm.
happens. So
It's the okay.
it's the mind. The mind's the first one that's really mind creates. Yeah.
Okay.
So
Okay.
if we really learn how to deal with that one, we can create such beautiful things.
Yeah.
But as long as we come from fear or anger or whatever other repressed states, that's we create more of that. Look,
Right.
look at the world again. Yeah.
Okay.
That's what's happening.
So the frustration is when we place a limitation on our imagination. We limit our creation. Okay.
By labeling, by thinking we know something, by labeling, by naming things,
Hmm.
by saying if by cause and effect, if I do this, then that. It's all kind of mental games you're
Yeah.
playing.
Yeah. The
Yeah,
mind games are a big one, you know, a
yeah.
big one on this shore. And you mentioned chronic living, you know, for your journey in particular, can you talk about, I think it was maybe 4 years ago or so, where you met the Dutch couple that assisted you through that process. Can you talk about meeting them and what process you underwent?
True, true. It's about 4 years ago that I decided to step into that process. I had met them maybe the year before already on a little night when they were just talking about their experience, and they had started the year before. They were just in their first year, and they had really prepared this. I mean, he had already 10 years beforehand the knowledge and the idea that he was going to do it, but he was waiting for the right timing and for to her to do it together. And this Dutch couple, they started giving retreats, like, yeah, you can call it the Pranic retreat, which is it's usually a 1 week thing where you do 3 days of fasting, so 72 hours of real fasting, usually dry fasting, so no food, no drinks, no nothing, and that really resets the body. So that was one of the main reasons why I choose to do it, because I came from this chronic illness, and yeah, just resetting the body and getting more energy. That sounded already very good. And the other thing that sounded good to me was like the freedom of food. Like I love to go into the mountains, but I never did it with the idea of having to have a backpack with water and food and cooking stuff for 3 days and have to carry all that. Hopeless. I didn't do that. And so all these things, I thought, oh wow. But I think the real decision came from within. There was no way to say no. It was already kind of decided. That it popped up one day, and I saw they were doing a new retreat. I called the guy. I said, "Okay, can we talk about it?" And during the phone call, I already knew. I mean, this. I'm just gonna do this. This is not a decision. Yeah, I'm consciously making it, but I'm not making the decision.
Hmm.
So yes, I did it. And then I can say I'm on the journey of pranic living, but I'm not living without food at the moment. Au contraire, what happens is all the shit comes up when you open a box like that. Um, First, all the mental programming. So I think I'm quite sort of okay with the mental programming now. But is it safe to do a dry fast on your own when it's the first time? I would prefer to find a teacher, and I always find backup. Don't do this dry fasting thing on your own. No. I saw a question.
Hmm.
So yes, I did it, and then all the emotional stuff comes up. So and then all the social stuff too. I mean, we live in a world of food, and every meeting you have with people is okay. Shall we have a lunch? Do you want to come for coffee? When are we gonna have dinner? So I so much enjoy the little meetings I have. Sometimes twice a year, I go with a little group of other pranic people, and we go rent a house or somewhere, and we're together. And this whole thing about how you organize the day around meals disappears. It's wonderful. You get so much time. You just sit there and talk for hours. You do other things. It's not like, what are we going to have for breakfast? Who's going to cook? Are we going to do shopping? It's such a relief. It gives so much time and space. But as I'm saying, I still live in a house. I have two children. They eat. There's cooking. There's food. I and I'm not this mindset person that says I'm going to do this on willpower. Let's do this. So I float with whatever comes up, and sometimes I eat too much and I feel shitty about it. And the next day I'll just do nothing and I'm fine again. Just trusting the body, even if I sabotage the whole bloody thing. Trust my body; it can handle that too.
Handle
So
it.
it's a journey. It's not, some people do it by one day and they just live on prana, but I don't know many of that. Most people go with the waves.
Mm,
Because
yeah.
are you living like that yourself?
Well, I'm living on liquids,
Liquids.
so I'm not
Yeah.
I'm not living purely on the breath at the moment, but I've been on liquids for quite some
I
time, and that suits me
love that.
at the moment. That suits me. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I love that too.
I love that you give yourself grace. I love that you give yourself allowance. You're not too harsh on yourself. You're not too critical on yourself to say, the body can handle it. The body will go through it. You're like, if I take a step back, if I step into sabotage, as you say, you're like, it's not the end. It's
Mm.
okay. It's not, you've survived this long, the body has this long,
Mm.
so we're here for a reason. It's amazing. It's doing so many amazing things. And I just love the feeling that you gave, Lineke, about freedom, the freedom to do whatever you want to do without worrying about, well, what time is it? Maybe we need to go grab a bite over here. Should we go grab a bite over there? Should we go eat over here? Like, worrying, that worry and stress and fear of not having, or needing.
Exactly.
Yeah, yeah.
Exactly. When I was in those years of chronic illness, I would have to plan everything. Can I go there? If I get tired, can I lay down on the floor? Can I take a rest? With other people, do I have to bring my food? What will the food be like? At what time shall we eat? There's so many things to think about. And now I just wake up and I start my day and I either go outside or I do yoga or I go swimming or I do nothing or I'll take a coffee. And but if it's not there, it's also fine. And that's yeah. So I never take anything when I go anywhere. If there's food, I have food. If there's no food, I don't need it. It's okay. That's the
Beautiful.
freedom.
Yeah.
That's the freedom. Yeah.
More, it sounds like, a lot more space, a lot more room in the mental, a lot less mentally, energetically draining. And then it feels like the time you're actually gaining because you're not having time being taken by doing all these things. So when it comes to meeting, the particular Dutch couple, like, I think you said it was Amudra and Brahman Minor?
Correct. Those are these names, and at those time they have been a couple for over 30 years, I think. And in
Okay.
this whole Pranic process, of course, with them also a lot of things came up, so they decided to go separate ways. But both of them are giving retreats on Pranic living in Holland
Right.
in their own particular way. And I was with one of the first 100 people, I think, 4 years ago that started this. But now I think they have already trained more than thousands of people. So it's a growing community. It's a growing community.
And
Yeah.
what was your impression of them when you met them? Like, what about them do you feel you gravitated towards, or maybe what were some qualities within them that you didn't see in other people?
Well, first of all, I completely trusted the story. I mean, yes, okay, if they can live without food, they look normal, they look healthy, they seem to talk sane. And so that was interesting. There's a certain calmness, but yes, there's a certain thing on people who live from prana. It's the connection with the eyes, the calmness. You know what I'm talking about. Um, yeah, but for them, they're interesting too. But for me, it's my personal journey. I think that's, well, talking about human design. In human design, I'm a 1-3 profile. The 1-3 profile is very individual. They have to try everything themselves. They have to investigate everything themselves. So yes, I took their training course, their retreat. I did everything according to the rules, and then I came home, and then of course I start my own path. So um, yes, I totally trusted them from the beginning. Like whatever I'm doing with them is I'll do it according to their rules, and then it became my own journey, and I'm going my own way there. Yeah.
Yeah. Did you ever encounter any fears or any, any things that started to bubble up to the surface, maybe any traumas, any things within you during that 3 days of going without, the 3 days of dry? What,
Yeah, that's a good question. I love it. No, actually, the retreat, I did it in the beginning of March, maybe. The decision to do it was 1st of January, first week of January. I talked to Minor on the telephone and I said, okay, yes, I'll do that. So then I had another 2 months before the retreat started. And I had never done any fasting like that, not a 3 day, not even, I never did really fasting. So 3 days without food and water. So all my fears came up in the last 4 weeks before the retreat. The whole month of February, I was dead. I was sure I was convinced I was gonna be the first one who's gonna die on a retreat like this. I was convinced that I was gonna be the first one. I was not gonna survive this. I was completely, so all my fears came up before. And the biggest fear, of course, the fear of death, the fear of dying. But the moment I started the retreat, I trusted the process. So in the retreat, no, I just had my physical challenges because you lose energy and the body gets a bit tired and you have to be careful with that. And I took really an inward journey. So in the retreat itself, no, the retreat was the easy part. It's the part before and the part after.
wow, wow.
Yeah, yeah.
So it was the anticipation that was the most complication, was just anticipating what might, the what if, the maybe, like you don't
Mm.
know, the of the unknown.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay,
So scary. Yeah.
okay. And you overcame that fear during the retreat or right before you went in? Like that fear of death grips, so many people in a stranglehold during life that some people find it hard to live with that fear, you know?
True. And we all know these moments and we all have it sometimes. But in that way, I mean, it was very strong because I was going to do this fasting and it scared the hell out of me. But the last week before the retreat, it's already like living on liquids or really very, skipping all the unhealthy stuff. So to be prepared, so not to get too much detox stuff in the week itself. And that gave me confidence, I guess. And stepping into the retreats, I mean, being in the environment and with these people, then I was fine.
Yeah.
I was fine. I was just, I'm going to do this. I trust the process. I do exactly what they say. I'll be fine.
Okay. And it
Yeah.
sounds like it helped to have others around you that you were not alone, you know?
That's, for me, that's an important thing too. Yeah. Yeah. My biggest demons are inside me when I'm alone. Yeah. True. In interaction, it's different.
Okay. So do you have a different view or concept of death today? Like, does it no longer have a hold on you, that fear?
Well, I suppose it's not completely gone. I mean, I don't think there's any person in this world that can honestly say they're not scared of death. The moment you put a gun on their head, they will say something different. Um, so, yeah, but it's not present at the moment. I'm enjoying life. I'm much more alive. I'm much more alive. I mean, scared, that's what they usually say. Yeah? Being scared of death is actually being scared of being alive. So, yes, nice that you asked because I realized that I do live much more. Yeah,
Can,
yeah.
can you explain that part? You said it's actually, we're not actually fearing death, we're fearing being alive. Could you explain that?
With so much holding back for fear of so many things. Why? Come and enjoy life. We're here to enjoy. We're here to experience. And enjoy is not that everything should be happy, happy, We are enjoying also. Can you enjoy the shitty part? Can you enjoy the scary part? Can you love it all? Yeah. And I'm trying. I'm doing my best. Yeah, and I'm trying to be an example to others on the way. But of course, my fear of that's not completely gone. If you come here and you pull a trigger, no, no.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
When it comes to food, you know, just the concepts that we have for so many people when it comes to food, when it comes to our existence, when it comes to our survival, when it comes to nutrition, the minerals, the vitamins, like everything that we think that the body needs to survive. Did any of that change for you when you went through the pranic process?
Yes, a lot, because it's exactly what you're saying. We think we need it. We think, and thoughts create. As long as you think it, yes, you need it. It's as simple as that. So yes, my mindset changed a lot around food, and still I'm trying to listen to my body. It's uh, it's a bit of a mix of things.
Yeah.
Uh, but yes, it's so many things that we believe in because we're told, you know, listen to the body. It doesn't need that much of food, and sometimes it likes it. So enjoy it. It's okay.
Yeah. Yeah. There's something that you have on your bio. It says a body mind magician, you know, the body mind magician. And I've heard people when they say the body and the mind,
Mm.
they don't separate it. Hey, body mind, you know? And so what do you mean when you say the body mind magician? I'd love to know like why you call yourself that.
Well, the magician is another archetype that I got from the Gene Keys. So my life's work is magic,
Mm,
and magic in the sense of seeing the wonder in the life. You know, nothing here is real. It's one big game. We're in a play, and we're making it real because we create what we think we see. So magician is believing everything's possible.
mm,
And body mind is, you know, I do work with people, and when I did a training, an education, it was called holistic child's work or something. We approached from all different directions. So there was body, soul, mind, spirit. It was basically the four pillars they used. And it doesn't matter. So many different systems, they use the same names, similar names. So body mind is just an easy one to name it, but it's about being holistic. So there's no difference. There's no, you can enter from any side. You can work on the emotions, you can work on the body. But when people come to me, I do have a little practice where people come. They always go on the table. I'd say there's a massage table, and I do work on the body and energetically, even if it's only to get the stress out of the system,
mm,
because all the stress and these nervous systems that are over excited, they're causing all the problems. You know, that's the root of the problem. So get rid of the stress. Stop doing things that don't fit you. Enjoy life more, and then become calm. So body mind, it's just it sounded nice. You know, you only have so many letters to fill in a bio on Instagram. So I mixed a few, but
yeah.
yes, I do work body mind, if you want to say it, but it's energetically, it's emotions, it's everything. Yeah,
Yeah, it's everything. It's all connected. It's all connected.
true.
Yeah. And you know, just playing with that, I love how you talk about, you know, being a magician and just making magic that we're just creating and it's all a game, you know, that we're just playing. That goes back to the eternal child, you know, that goes back to the child that's constantly playing the game and just having fun, you know, just enjoying, just enjoying. Yeah. Yeah, there's so many things. It's like you know, there's even something that you put up about being a wanderer, but not just a wanderer, but a barefoot wanderer, you know?
Okay, take this one. Take this one. Number one tip: how to live a spiritual life.
Okay.
Throw away your shoes. It's so easy. Throw away your shoes. Start walking barefoot, or by, if it's too cold in winter, I walk on these barefoot shoes. I don't always walk barefoot. It can be too cold. My system
Oh,
doesn't take it.
right.
But throw away all the ordinary shoes. This is the most spiritual thing you can do in life. You don't have to do anything. Don't do training courses. Don't read books. Throw away your shoes.
Just throw
That's
them
it.
away. Just
stop walking on shoes.
that's it. Now, why do you say this is such a crucial component, or such a key to unlock so many things? Why do you feel like shoes are such a block, you know?
I never, I started realizing this just because I started walking barefoot more and I did throw away my shoes. Only a few. I have left a few, but I never wear them. Yeah, it really got me. People use the word grounded, and of course it's grounding, but grounding is being in your body. Grounding is not making roots into the earth or something. I mean, you're a human body, and being in your body, that's being grounded. And walking barefoot is just it comes it happens automatically. You don't have to think about it. You just walk barefoot. It just happens.
Yeah. And when you
Yeah.
don't have to think about it, when you're just walking barefoot, what do you feel it's doing not only for your physicality, but for your spirituality?
Oh, that's a difficult one. Because I don't think about it. I just do it.
I just the reason I asked this, Lineke, is because you said you can throw away all the books and just walk barefoot. Like that's all you need. I'd love
Yeah.
to hear, just more about your perspective because it's not common, where I'm from. That's, everybody's buying shoes and buying multiples and multiples of shoes where I'm from.
Yeah, we don't need all that. And you don't need all the books either. But it's nice to read a book sometimes. And it's nice to have a good pair of shoes. It's okay. But walking bare feet, yeah, that's again this body mind thing. Because it's bringing you in the body. So this mind becomes much more easy. You're not some people live here. They don't get out of this box. Very tired, it's very top heavy. Connect and most people don't even know they have feet. They don't know that they have toes. They sort of float somewhere between here and there, but come in your body. And that's what barefoot walking does. So that's why it happens automatically. You don't have to do all this body mind work. It just happens by walking bare feet. True. And it
Wow.
helps. It's maybe not the only one. Maybe you need something else. Some people might even need therapy or a training course. That's fine. It's also okay. But yeah,
So
throw away shoes.
stepping away from complexity, going back to simplicity,
Hmm.
you know,
Keep,
keeping it simple.
keep it simple.
Yeah, yeah. Because I remember, I've walked by a few people, being barefoot, and I remember they would see me, and I remember even a gentleman, and he was saying like, "Wow, that's how we're supposed to be." He looked at me barefoot, and he said, "I wish I could do that, but my feet are such a way that I can't do that." He said, "My feet are, I can't do that because my feet are something's wrong with my feet, but I wish I could do that." He looked at me. He said, "I wish I could walk barefoot like you." you know? And I always wondered that. I was wondering, like, why not? I couldn't understand. Yeah.
No, well, true. Some people are so used to their shoes or their feet got, I don't know what kind of problem, but start with 5 minutes a day. I don't know, something. You can always do a little bit, maybe not all the time.
Yeah. A little bit at a time. Because I know some people, they worry about things like, oh, well, what if my feet get dirty with all the filth on the street? Or what if I
Yeah.
get flat pieces of glass in my feet? Or what if I get all of this stuff? And they're worried about a lot of things. You don't seem very worried about that.
Yeah, well, I don't go all the time on the street with barefoot, but sometimes I do it. But yeah, your feet, of course, feet get dirty, but I have soap and water. That's okay.
Exactly.
And but glass, yeah, it comes with a natural way of walking. There's even special technique for barefoot walking. It becomes very natural and soft, and maybe it makes me more aware of where I put my feet. So I don't step into a big chunk of glass. I'm aware where I put my feet. That's another part of the spiritual extras that you get.
Right.
It's about presence. It's about being aware. It's about knowing I have feet. So why would they step in a chunk of glass? You only do that if your mind is somewhere else. Yeah.
Exactly. Exactly. Oh my goodness. It's total sense. You know, it's like you're trading your presence, your sensitivity, and your awareness, you know? So it's like, okay, yeah, you have these big, thick shoes on with these rubber soles, but you think that you have more control with the rubber soles, but you're just kind of, you're not having to think about what you're stepping because you're not really
True.
connected, you know? So when you're not really connected with your bare feet, then you don't have to think.
Mm-hmm.
But when going barefoot, now you're aware to all that is there, you know?
Wow.
So I love that.
And thank you for the way you're saying it. In your one of your previous lives that I saw come across, or maybe it was a live, but you said you were a comedian. You did stand-up comedian stuff,
Yeah,
and the way you play with words and it rhymes, and it comes just natural. Thank you for that. I like that too. Yeah, beautiful. So the way you say it, nice.
thank you for receiving, you know? Thank you for
Mm.
receiving. Feels like life is very poetic right now, you know? For me, the way that I think, the way that I choose the world, I like to see the poetry, you know? I like to read between the lines. I like to see life as magical as you said, you know? That
Nice,
yeah, yeah.
true.
And
Cool. So nice to connect like this. Thank you. I never did an Instagram live before, not with two persons. So now I know how that works. Mm,
yeah, and
yeah.
right before we go, Nabiha said one thing. She said that when you walk barefoot long enough, your feet get eyes. Like they start to see. Your feet can see. I like that.
Oh, beautiful. I like that too.
And
Yeah.
Haruka from Japan, she's saying that I believe God protects me when I go barefoot. God protects
Oh,
me. Wow.
yeah.
Wow. Wow.
That's this presence, and it's about trust.
Mhm.
Life is about trusting life. Yes. You are protected. You are safe. You are okay. Yeah.
Yes.
Trust.
Yes. So
Mm.
So right before we leave, Lineke, you know, if there's somebody, this is their first time seeing you, they've never met you before, but they're really enthused, really enlightened by the words that you shared today, and especially things like, you know, human design and gene keys. I don't know if you do you give offerings? Do you have services around that where you do readings for other people, or can people get in touch with you? Can they get in tune with you?
Yes. Yes, there's a website where you can find me. I have a YouTube channel where you can find me if you want to hear more from me. And I do readings. I use it as a tool. I use it in coaching sessions, but I also do readings online. Like people can just order, and I give you a 45 minutes recording, a voice recording, which I just send you by WeTransfer. So people from anywhere in the world can actually order a human design reading from this oracle. Yes, that's possible. Go to my website. There's a book it now button somewhere. And uh,
Awesome.
and I do sit in a little shop in Rotterdam for the people who are local here once a week where I do mini readings, like 20-minute stuff. And that's another thing I love doing. I just sit there and I get the whole afternoon people coming in 20 minutes, half an hour each. And I do short readings, and that's also amazing. It's very magical.
Awesome. Well, thank you. Thank you for what you're doing in the world. You know, thank you just being passionate about your purpose, living in service. You know, thank
Thank you. Thank you for the invite, and let's keep up the good work.
you. Right? We will. We will.
Thanks,
Take care.
all people that were watching, and yeah,
All
we'll do it again
right.
someday.
Bye bye.